Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video I want to show you a very simple strategy, which is essences. So in my last video I was farming breaches, and to be honest I didn't really like that strategy. It requires a pretty good character and you are gonna be fully clearing them up, and it's gonna take you a lot of time to clear them. And recently I have not been enjoying like a juiced maps content. So for example Delirious and stuff, and especially Delirium because it makes your performance pretty bad, especially if you have a bad computer. So yeah, recently I have been enjoying very simple strategies with not that much of an investment, and Essences is definitely one of these strategies. So I would classify this strategy as kinda boss rushing plus, and what I mean by that is if you would be doing boss rushing, you would simply just enter the map, run to the boss, kill it, and that's it, and go out and go next turn. If you would be doing boss rushing plus, you would do map boss, and on your way you would do like one, maybe two very fast additional content. So for example, one essence that you can guarantee from the Atlas, or maybe search for free harvests, or just guarantee harvest, but that's basically it. That would be like a boss rushing plus. But here we're gonna be doing boss rushing plus, which is we are still gonna clear maps as fast as possible. We are not gonna full clear them. We are gonna run to boss as fast as possible, but we're gonna do few things, basically more than two things. So the things that we are gonna do is, first of all, well, obviously free essence from this, but on top of that, free essences from map device, so 4 essences. And that's basically the main reason why I don't think it's like super boss rushing, because 4 essence can take a little bit of time to kill. So you're not gonna kill that many map bosses in the same time as you would when you would be just simply focusing on bosses. Second thing is going for gilded scarabs from possessed monsters, which to be honest doesn't even increase the amount of time you spend in map that much, because most of the time possessed monsters are gonna be essences, so you're gonna be doing 2 of these things at the same time. And obviously you need seance to be able to proc the possessed monsters. Third thing is smuggler caches. So this is obviously a very simple one. You just run into the map, click smuggler cache, and get some loot. And you can also increase that loot thanks to these Atlas passives. And the last thing, actually no, 2 last things that I was doing is guaranteed strongbox with secret operations. And I think during this test, and I did 60 maps, during this test I got like 4 of these strongboxes, so they can give you a decent amount of scarabs, but it's nothing too crazy. I like to roll them with the engineer orbs and alchemy for at least 1 gilded or winged scarabs. Maybe if you get like a roll that gives you like 3 polished, 3 rusted, maybe some additional currency, then you can go for it also. And the last thing I also went for is just some additional random content. So I did exclude Abysses, Breaches, and Legion, and to be honest I also would want to exclude Blight and Ritual, but I just didn't feel like spending additional points. So I was actually also doing extra free expeditions, harvests, metamorphs, and I think that's it, and Delirium that I was encountering just randomly. So I wanted to see if it's actually worth to do them with the stream of consciousness and excluding other stuff, but without any extra Atlas passives and scarabs and sextants that can help you with the amount of rewards you get from them. In terms of other Atlas passives, I was going for obviously all of the essences. Here I had to take Alva just to go through there. I was going for all of the smuggler caches, except for this one, because it doesn't increase the chance to get the second one. You can only get 1 smuggler cache in a map. I went for Valley of the Darkness because I also was doing challenges, and there is 1 challenge that requires you to kill essence monsters with at least 4 rare modifiers. So this basically increases the chance that you're gonna encounter an essence like that. And as you can see, I also did all of the other essence challenges. I went for the 0.5% for the maps to drop duplicated, pretty much all of them, 17.5%, because I was also going for all of the garden map drops, and I went for the red influence this time because I'm not gonna full clear maps. Again, I'm gonna try to do them as fast as possible, so I'm not gonna encounter that many altars. And red one guarantees every 2 maps on average to get at least 1 altar pretty much at the beginning of the map. So I guess that's at least something. But obviously red one is much harder because of Wrath of the Cosmos. You're gonna take 25% increased damage. And I'm not gonna lie, my build is squishy, so I was dying not like that much, but still from time to time I would die, and that would be mostly to like a 6 mod essence because of this and having a lot of altars, and obviously Sans for the possessed monsters. And I think that's pretty much it. So in terms of a map, I went for the park because park is pretty small. You can just clear it very fast, just go through it, search for the essences. Map boss is also very fast and to kill and easy to find, so it is pretty good map for the strategy. But to be honest, I did think that is small enough, but now after doing it, I think park is actually pretty big for this type of strategy. It actually takes a little bit of time to search all of the corners to find all of the essences. I think maybe something like beach or possibly atoll, ashen woods could possibly better for this strategy. I'm not too sure. If anything, it is not that bad, don't get me wrong. Maybe also cemetery could be nice, but I think you can do some other maps maybe with like 20% better results or something. And I also went for the rare ones because I just figured my build is strong enough to clear them rare. To be honest, you don't have to do it. Most of the things like scarabs, I think for caches, maybe the amount of markers and blueprints care about the quantity, but essences don't care about quantity, loot from map bosses don't care about quantity, and pack size same for the scarabs. So the only one is, I think, Smuggler Cache, and that one doesn't even care about it that much, I think. So yeah, you can definitely do these maps white, but chisels and alchemies are pretty cheap, so if you can do them rare, you can go for it. So now let me show you the example. So again, I'm going for the red influence, 3 additional essences, so there's not that much maintenance. I guess the only things you need to buy are Smuggler Caches and Gilded Scarab Sextants, but to be honest, they are actually pretty easy to buy. A lot of people are selling them in bulk on TFT or on the trade, so it is pretty easy to buy them. So what I'm doing at the beginning of a map, I'm weapon swapping to my Lipslam, and I'm starting to search for the essences. So here is the Smuggler Cache, so I would take it. 1 contract. Here is some Sentinels, which I guess I can take. When you proc Metamorph, it is actually pretty annoying because it is gonna cover the essence icon on the map, so you're not gonna be able to see where are the essences. So in terms of remnants, I would always use remnant when there are at least 2 essence, I guess at least 3 screaming essence or 2 essences, but one of them is screaming and second one is shrieking. That would be my rule of thumb for using remnants of corruption. They go for 1C, so you can use a lot of them. So for this one, there is 2 wailing, 1 screaming, so I actually would not use it. Let me clear it, and as you could see, this essence had also a possessed monster in it. So I would skip most of these monsters. Here's the second essence. So this one I would obviously... Oh, and I killed boss. I didn't even notice it. That's how much damage I'm doing. And this one has the purple essence, which is the essence of the dread. So this one I would 100% use the remnant on it. And unfortunately I didn't get the corrupted essence. And it's done. Now let's... Oh, I also found harvest. So for harvest, I would search for mostly like a lucky modifiers, because they can give you a reforge, keep prefix or keep suffix, and they can sell on TFT for like 1 exalt. And this time I didn't get one. Let's search for the second one. These ones don't have anything that great, so I would skip it. Obviously you can do them still if you feel like it. These ones also don't have anything. Most of the most important crafts were the ones that let you change the essences into different ones. So another scarab from possessed monster, and here is the third one. So now I no longer need to kill possessed monsters. And here is another essence, and this one also has a purple one. Unfortunately, no corrupted essence again. Let's pick all of them up. So I think I found 3 essences so far. So there's still a few more, at least 1. And here is the expedition. So for expedition, I also wouldn't like 100% focus on clearing them. Wow, like this was actually like very lucky maps. I got Metamorph, Harvest, and Expedition in the same map. So that's actually pretty lucky. So I would go for like this, 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 and this. Oh, one more. So I guess these 2 monsters. Again, I wouldn't like 100% focus on getting the most out of them. And looks like this one is unlucky. I didn't even get a single medallion. Another purple essence. Maybe this time I will be lucky. Nope. Again, no corrupted essence. So that's basically it. So I found all 3 scarabs. Oh, and I also got operative strongbox. So this is like a perfect map that you would literally find everything. I got the 3 harvest, I got 3 metamorph, I've got 3 expedition, I got the operative strongbox, all 4 essences, and I killed a map boss. So I would use engineer orbs, and here 2 polish, 2 fragment. This is decent, you could probably do it, but let me reroll so I can show you what I was going for. 1 winged scarab, so that is what I would go for. It is pretty rare to get it, but winged torment, obviously I got the worst one, unfortunately. But yeah, very often you're gonna get a good scarab. So yeah, now the map is fully cleared, so I will no longer clear it. Maybe if you have metamorph, you can clear it like a little bit to get better metamorph. And now I would do it. And it's that. And as you can see, metamorph also didn't really drop that much. So again, that's like why I did it, because I wanted to see if it's actually worth to do them without any like scarabs, atlas passage, and so on. So here you can see all of the loot. Again, free guaranteed scarabs. I guess I got a little bit more gilded scarabs because of the strongbox. A lot of essences, 1 winged scarab from the chest, some maps, and sentinels, but I did not include the sentinels in the results. Okay, so talking about the results, let me show you what I did get. So here is the main tab with all of the things outside of the essences, scarabs, and heists. So here is the loot from expedition. So as you can see here, I didn't really get that much. So in terms of expedition, is it worth to do it without the Atlas passive and stuff? In my opinion, probably not. Maybe like early on in the league, if you're struggling for currency, do it, but to be honest, 10 Astragallis and 1 medallion is not that much. So in terms of metamorph, the same thing. I actually did it a lot of times. As you can see, I have a lot of organs, and these catalysts are pretty cheap, so it's not really worth it. Here's all of the loot just from the random monsters map, I guess the strong boxes, so obviously the loot is decent, but nothing too crazy, because I actually wasn't doing sentinels, and that's actually one big negative of this strategy, because there isn't really any good sentinels to do with this type of strategy. You are not gonna pull a lot of monsters, so blue one is worthless. You are gonna be skipping a lot of monsters, so red one is also not that great, and using yellow one doesn't really give you that many rewards, and it makes monster much harder to kill, so it's also not that great. So I actually skipped all of the sentinels. But in terms of these things, I actually think Delirium is actually pretty worth it. It doesn't take too much time to clear map, like a little bit more, but you get a lot of Delirium orbs. So for example, this one is 36C, this one is 23, this one is 16, so that's probably like 100 plus C, and a lot of splinters. So And I got this winged scarab from the harvest. So in terms of harvest is actually also pretty decent. You get a lot of these crafts, which I actually forgot to use. Changes stacks of essences into different one of the same tier. So you can use it on essences that are worth 1C, and you can get the more expensive one, which you can sell for like 5 to 9C. You get a lot of more. These ones are actually from previous maps, so these are not from this test. But yeah, you can get a lot of other things. You can sometimes get a boss, which obviously can be worth a lot if you get a fracture or augment influence. Reforge, keep suffixes or keep prefixes. You can sell for like 1 exalt. So yeah, you can get a decent profit from harvest even without crafting, with just reforges, using them on cluster jewelers or something. So yeah, this is just all of the secondary loot, which to be honest I didn't really care about. And now if I actually wanted to do this strategy again, I actually would skip all of these things. I would skip Metamorph, I would skip Expedition, and I would probably still do Delirium and Harvest. That's pretty much it. Also, I didn't know that Patient drops from the Park, but I guess I got 7 of them, so it probably means that Park drops Patience. I didn't know about it. So here are all of the scarabs. Again, most of them came from the scarab sextant, but some of them came from the altars and operative strongboxes. Maybe like 5 to 10%. Here are all of the essences. So the only one that I'm not upgrading to Deafening is the Shrieking Essence of Dread. They're worth 2 chaos, and if you upgrade them to Deafening, they are also worth 10C, so it's not worth it to upgrade them. Because when it comes to these essences, people care about bow, plus 2 to socketed bow gems. And Deafening gives the same thing. It doesn't give plus 3, it still gives plus 2, so yeah, you don't need to upgrade it. But everything else I upgraded up to Deafening, and I removed all of the Shrieking and below. And I got 8 essences of Delirium, 1 Hysteria, 5 Horrors, 4 Insanity, and I guess I got a few Remnants back. And that's pretty much it. In terms of heist, I did remove all of the bad contracts. I kept only the Deception, which you can sell for 13C, Perception and Counter, which you can sell for 3C, and Lockpicking, which you can sell for like 2C. And all of these are selling pretty fast, so you shouldn't have issues with selling them, especially on TFT. And I kept all of the blueprints, and most of them are also selling pretty fast. And I got almost 60,000 rogue markers, which to be honest are actually worth a lot. I think it's like 270 markers for 1C. So I think this is like 200 chaos, so it is pretty good. Just markers definitely paid for the sextants. And here are all of the Guardian maps. So not that many Guardian maps. Again, this is why I would classify this strategy as a boss rushing, like a plus. Like you're not gonna be actually like boss rushing, shouldn't expect that many Guardian maps. But still I got 3 synthesis maps, quite a lot of Conqueror. Surprisingly, I actually got more expensive maps than the cheap ones, so that was pretty lucky. But yeah, that's everything in terms of loot. Now let me show you the spreadsheet with profit. So I did 60 maps. I was buying parks for 5 chaos, scarab sextants. I had to use 15 for 60 maps, so 25C each. Same for smuggler sextant, and you can buy them for like 5 chaos, maybe even cheaper in some cases. I had to use 170 remnants, 1C each, and map device additional 3 essences, 3C each. So in total I spent a little bit more than 1000C, so it's not that big of an investment. And it took me only 3 hours to do this test, so it is definitely like a speed mapping type of strategy. In terms of loot, 1700C, so without Sentinel, compared to my last strategy where I was doing Breach, not that much loot overall from just a random loot from maps. Scarabs, Sextant definitely paid, but obviously some of these Scarabs came from operative strongboxes, so it's probably more like 1200, but it still definitely pays for the Sextant, and you make quite a lot on it. In terms of essences, 1300, so it's pretty similar profit in terms of split from the scarabs and essences. Heist, 600, not that great, but out of all of them, it's definitely the fastest one to do. You just click one chest and that's it. And Guardian map 400C, which come from the map bosses. In total, almost 6000C. I had to pay 1,100, so 4.5k, which is 25 exalts. So I made 8.4 exalts per hour. And this is actually a little bit more than breaches, but breaches, again, like I mentioned, are definitely harder to do than this strategy. Obviously, if you are doing essences, from time to time you're gonna encounter essence with 6 essences. Maybe if you are gonna also use a lot of altars, sometimes I would say out of this 60 maps, maybe I had like 10 essences that I actually did still struggle with. So even if you don't kill like some of them and you're gonna get like maybe 1.1k, it's still gonna be like 8 exalts per hour. So if you are struggling with some of the essences, you can definitely just skip them. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, it's definitely easier strategy, and I made more, so it is better than the essence strategy. And also I did not include the bulk prices for the essences and scarabs, and that's actually a big deal, because let me show you. For example, for the essences, I was using Exile Lens, and here you can see that, for example, Essence of Floating is counted as 7C. But if you go to bulk prices and you type at least 10 in stock, you can buy them for 8C, I mean sell them for 8C, maybe even 9C per. So you can definitely make more. And it's also the case with scarabs. So for example, Exile Lens is showing, oh, I can't search for it that quickly, but Exile Lens was showing Gilded Divination as, I believe, 26 or 28C. And if we look for the Gilded Divination on trade, at least 10 in bulk, you can sell them for 36. So that's quite a lot of difference. So let's actually search for the one. Yeah, that would be the Exile Lens price, like 27, and in bulk you can sell them for 36. So that's a big difference if you are selling stuff in bulk. And for example, Reliquary, you can sell them for like 16C, maybe 15, and if you would sell them one by one, which is Exile Lens price, that's like 10, 12, 13C. So yeah, this spreadsheet does not include the bulk prices. So to be fair, this strategy, without doing the worthless content that I already mentioned, like Metamorph, Expedition, is probably not really worth it. And also I was actually probably clearing them up too much, because I was playing my Tornado Shot build. When there was a lot of like normal monsters, I would still feel like I want to clear them, and I probably should have just been skipping them. So you definitely can push it to 10x per hour. Probably just the bulk prices are gonna push the strategy to like 10x per hour. And last thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of people are asking me, why am I not selling, or should I be selling stuff on TFT in bulk? And that is actually the main reason why I am not doing it, because if you are gonna be selling them in bulk on TFT, you are actually probably gonna pay even less. So let me actually check quickly. Here it is. So for example, here someone is buying all of the essences at 98% of Ninja price. So you definitely are gonna make, not only you're not gonna benefit from bulk prices, but also you're gonna lose. Here this guy is buying 90%, so instead of getting paid 36 for bulk prices, you're gonna be paid 90% of 26, which is the Ninja price. So you're gonna be paid like 24C for Gilded Divination. So I would definitely not use this way of trading. The only way I would do it is if I had like random scarabs, maybe like 1 Divination, 2 Reliquary, 2 Harbinger, and so on, like 1 of each, and I didn't feel like selling them one by one, then I would consider using this tool. Otherwise, I always sell them in bulk on trade, and I wait until I have at least 10 of each scarab, each essence, and so on, before I sell them, so I can actually